Well, it's that time of year. Baseball season is here. We're already pretty far into the season, and we're having a great time with baseball. Who doesn't love baseball, right? You know Joel and I do, and we talk about it a lot here on The Brew. And tonight, we got a good one for you, so I want you to chime in live and join our conversation right here, right now. Should MLB serve beer past the seventh inning? They haven't done that for decades now. Before you get a beer, all 9 innings, but sometimes when a game runs long, you get a little thirsty and you want to have a cold one. So should MLB serve beer past the seventh inning? Joel and I are going to have a hard debate on this one right now, and he's over there from Vegas drinking a beer. Joel, should MLB serve beer past the seventh inning?
Yeah, for me and Joe.
Yeah.
And nobody else, because you guys can't drive.
Want to welcome Darlene from Florida, by the way. I see she's saying hi. Hi, Darlene. Do I think they should serve beer past the seventh inning? Yes, I do. And in some places, you can still get it. Like if you have Yankees tickets like the clubs, you can actually get a drink past the ninth inning. Same thing in Citi Field. If you pay for the high roller clubs, you can get it. But the general population, us sitting out in the cheap seats, no, you can't get it. But I think you should. Here's the deal. It happened that way for 100 years. You were able to have a drink. They served it. It wasn't until we started driving cars in the 80s and people started wrapping themselves around telephone poles because they were too drunk to drive that they had to cut it off. It's one of the situations where we couldn't handle it. The authorities cut it off. So be responsible. Think about yourself. Think about others. If you can't handle the booze, then don't have it. But, I mean, Joe, I think it's dumb because if you want a beer, you can just go across the street after the game and get one.
Right, and that's kind of where the debate comes into play. But I get what MLB is doing because it's more about the family aspect. And like you just said, stupid people basically have ruined it for the rest of us.
Isn't it how it always is? Like somebody does something stupid, then it ruins it for the masses.
Absolutely. That's exactly how it always is. And they know people are still going to do it, but the earlier they start cutting it off, the less responsibility they have to claim for it.
Yeah. Where the problem comes into play is where you get some of these games that go into extra innings. And how about some of these games that can sometimes top 16, 17 innings? I mean, when you've been at the park that long and you decide you want to see the game, you're a little thirsty and dry. So it's the trouble spot because they could make so much more money. And I want to bring up this point too, because like I said, there are some high roller clubs in these parks that'll do it. But like in Jersey Devils here, for example, at their arena, at the Prudential Center, you can still get a beer at certain bars all the way into the hockey game, whereas most other NHL games, they cut it off. So it's working, it's okay here. Nobody's killing themselves, so why is it such a big deal at other parks and other places?
Well, you have to kind of consider your fan base and their mode of transportation. You're in a place where a lot of people take the train. They don't have to worry about the personal responsibility of driving. That's not the case in a lot of places, especially a lot of spread out cities. Phoenix, Minneapolis, Houston, here, Florida doesn't really have great transportation. So there's a lot of places where people are driving more often than they're taking the train.
That's very true, but then when they build these ballparks, they need to take an example you need better mass transit and public access. Like, let's talk about the new Brave Stadium down there in Atlanta. They put that thing north of the city. There's no train line to get there. You have to depend on a car, Uber, or bus service, and that doesn't really work all the time. It's something I think they need to think about when they start building these new parks.
Well, when they build the parks, their target demographic isn't you and me. They want to get families. They want to get people who are coming out to the ballparks. It's about making money. So if the mass transit's not there, that's not going to stop them.
No, that's true. And if you are going to take your family to the park, though, one thing it is, it's a very expensive hobby, but it's a fun one at that. We got a lot of your comments. Let's get to them right now. Let's go through them because BC the Man says this should be on the ballot in November. Rock for Guitar says they should be serving domestic and imported non-alcohol beer so fans can enjoy the flavor without the anger. I've seen way too many drunken fights ruining the game for everyone else. They can serve right through the last pitch of the game. Now that's true. I've seen a bunch of drunken fights at games too, but sometimes it's through alcohol. Sometimes it's just people being just downright stupid.
That's a stupid fucking thing to say, dumbass.
Yeah. Start throwing fisticuffs. I know. It's like when people get crazy like that. Okay, I know the alcohol, like, it enables it. It's an enabler to like cause violence. But again, if people got to learn some self-control, or you're tossing their life away. Okay, not really much of a point. But let's go on to your next point because Bronx Bombers says keep it the way it is currently. I'm with Rock for Guitar. I've seen too many drunken assholes ruining the game, and I have seen some fights in the game. I've seen some fueled by alcohol, and I've seen some fueled not by alcohol, just by people getting angry about their team.
Alcohol is kind of an easy scapegoat, especially because some people use like a game or an event to drink when they're normally not doing that, and so it becomes the scapegoat if something goes wrong. But the truth is, I get more calm when I'm on it. I know you do too. Both of us are just chill. Like, we get really happy. So it's definitely not the case with everybody.
Yeah, that's actually right. A lot of people behave differently with alcohol. Some, it just makes them angry. Well, if you're that angry you can't hold on to your shit, then don't go to a ballpark because you know it's going to end horribly for everybody else. But yeah, people have no self-control. Let's go to our next comment because Mr. Bizarro says, negative. If you get a bunch of people drinking after the 7th inning, there will eventually be a losing team. Then the losers will be too rowdy for security, and there will be a huge mess of vomit and punches. So no, it's best to sober up after the 7th. Hashtag keep the rules. Well, Jersey Pete chimes in and he says, I think up until the 7th is enough. Most have probably been doing some pregame drinking and tailgating. I think I'm getting old. Oh man, I hope I'm not getting old. Starman says, what's the big deal? Most parks have bars across the street where you can get a cold one after. Oh, he agrees with Joel and I just said a little while ago. Craig chimes in and he says, haha, they should sell beer to you, me, and Joel, but not those crazy MFs who want to fight everybody. Seriously, it's probably a good rule. Drunk driving is really dangerous.
I like that dude's answer.
Joel, he wants to have a drink with you and I. Imagine that.
Hey, I guess a lot of people would prefer to do that. That's because me and Joe can handle it, but not everybody's a great arbitrator of who can handle it.
Oh, that's a good, an arbitrator. Very, very well said. Let's go to the poll right now because this will solve the problems. What do you think? Should MLB allow beer to be served past the 7th inning? 70% of you said yes, they should allow beer to be served past the 7th inning. Maybe it's one of those things where, what about this? What if we compromise? Maybe you don't serve beer through the entire stadium, but maybe you do more than just the high roller club. Say you serve it on the 100 level, or you serve it every so many kiosks. So it's not quite as accessible, but it's not inaccessible either.
That would be fine. It's splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be totally fine. I'm sure that the longer a game goes into extra innings, the less people are going to be there anyway, no matter where it is. So if they narrowed it down to just one kiosk on the 100 level, then that would actually probably work out pretty well.
Yeah, and they'll find it. And one thing we've also proven is that our viewers, yours and I, are very thirsty. So make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below. You don't want to miss any more of these shows. And don't forget my other web show, Kicking Back with Jersey Joe, every Thursday at noon on YouTube. All new episodes. Laugh, see, relax, and have some fun with your net pal, Jersey Joe, every Thursday. Like or subscribe so you don't miss any more episodes. And Joel, I'm glad that we have a beverage to talk about while we chat about this really hot and debatable topic. Oh, I got you a mid-beverage. Excellent. That's a perfect timing to ask you a question. So would you go, if there was like just one kiosk on the 100 level and say it's like the 8th inning, would you actually make the extra effort to go find out that one little concession stand that's still selling the booze?
It depends on the crowd because us true fans, we don't want to miss the game. We don't want to miss any of it. So if we know there's going to be a reasonably sized crowd and I can only get back with missing 0 to 1 batters, then maybe.
Very, very well said. Don't miss the game, but enjoy your libations safely. Jersey Joe here, Eye on the Box over there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, I hope.